So the decision support system first can be classified as file drawer systems. How does the data can be collected and how it can be managed in the DSS. One of the disadvantages, it increases the organizational control. A solution which is best fit for the current problem will be given by the optimization models. Hello students, welcome to the next session of the Management Information System. Let's start this session with some more insight about the decision support system. Okay, now let's take a look at how to classify the decision support system. So the decision support system first can be classified as file drawer systems. What is this file drawer system is? This allow the immediate access to the data item, like we access the data in a file. You can easily access the data from the file. They are basically online mechanized versions. If they are stored in the server, it takes little more time to access the data from the server. Instead, it will be an online mechanized version of manual filling of the systems. It will be available at the user's system so that you can easily access the file with the immediate effect. Okay. The next type of DSS is the data analysis system. What does this data analysis system will do is, these systems will allow the manipulation of the data, that is analyzing as well as manipulation by means of either analysis operations, that is executing the analytical algorithms tailored to the task, which is based on what type of application you need. There will be analysis operations based on the task or the general analysis methods. You can follow whatever you need, like data analysis for a particular application or in general analysis of the data. Next, you can have analysis information systems. What does this system will do is, this will give access to the series of database and the small models, which gives you an access to the critical data in the business. Next is the accounting models. So the accounting models will calculate the consequences of the planned actions. How do they calculate this consequence of the decision is on the basis of accounting definitions based on the procedures that is given in the accounting information. They typically generate estimates of the income. They'll generate the estimate of what is the income, balance sheets, etc. based on variation in input values to the definition formulas. So based on the formulas, it is going to give you the insight of the income, how much income we got this year, about the balance sheets. Okay, all these details will be given by the accounting models. In accounting model, we'll have representation models. These representation model estimate the consequence of the decision based on the models that represent the non-definitional characteristics of the system. That is the qualitative characteristic. What is the income based on what type of income you are getting. The qualitative data such as the probabilities of occurrence based on various representation of the income or representation of the factors in the accounting model. The decision support system will help in deciding on a problem solving. Okay. Along with that, you may get the optimization models. These provide the guidelines for action by generating the optimal solution. Okay. The solution which is best fit for the current problem will be given by the optimization models. Then we have the suggestion models. Suggestion models will compute a specific suggested decision. It will support in or it will assist in calculating or computing a specific suggested decision for a fairly structured or the repetitive decision. The change in the decision will be analyzed by the suggestion model and gives an alternative solution or suggests an alternative solution to the current solution, current problem, or it may change the decision which is repeated several times and has found that success may be difficult in taking the same decision. So you can have the decisions suggested by the suggestion models. Okay. How do you construct a DSS or decision support system is, first thing is choosing the project or problem to be solved, which is the problem we need to solve. The next thing is selecting the suitable hardware and the software for the DSS. Then next is data acquisition and management. How does the data can be collected and how it can be managed in the DSS. Next, the subsystems. How to construct the subsystem and how to manage it. Next thing is the dialog subsystem and its management. That is, how does it is going to assist the managers. The next thing is knowledge component. How does the data can be processed? That is the knowledge. How do you construct the steps is, next is packaging, making it a group of the decision support system, testing it, evaluating and improving it. Okay, once it is improved and is ready to be used, training will be given to the employees who are going to use this system or to the end user who is going to use this decision support system. Then after the training, next is documentation and maintenance. So documentation is taking a hard copy of the or taking a report of the documentation of the system, and last thing is maintaining the status quo of the decision support system. Next thing is, last step is adaptation. Adaptation is upgrading or updating or adapting the system to the changing environment or changing market in the business. So this is about the steps in the construction of the DSS. When you look at the advantages and disadvantages of the DSS, so DSS has certain advantages. They are improving the personal efficiency. How to improve the personal efficiency of the organization? Many decision support system do not do anything. They will not do anything. They don't have any independent task. So the thing is, it will improve the efficiency of the person. It will not do anything new, but it increases the working capability of the employee by reducing the time to need to enter the date and process it. So it reduces that effort of the employee and makes him more productive over other major issues of the business. Because data entering, maintaining and processing is a minor job in business. The manager will be having much more prominent roles to be handled other than storing and processing the data. So the efficiency of the manager will be increased or improvised by the use of the management information system and along with that the decision support system. The next advantage is improving the problem solving capability of the person. So it will help in solving a problem faster than the usual they are going to do without the system. The duration of taken by an employee or a manager to solve a problem will be faster when you use the MIS than when you don't use the MIS. So it increases or improvises the time duration needed for solving a problem. Next advantage is it facilitates the communication. How does it facilitate the communication? It is found that DSS will allow you to communicate interpersonally. It allows the interpersonal communication, which helps more in decision making. So it adds, in addition, the technology developments that have occurred after the implementation has given more opportunity for the users of the DSS to provide this facility of interpersonal communication between the users of the DSS system. Along with that, it promotes the learning or training. So using a DSS can also help people learn more about how to use the computers and the software packages that help in taking a decision. So the person will be learning or training about the use of the computers and how to make the use of the computers for making a decision. Okay. Along with that, we have the disadvantage. One of the disadvantages, it increases the organizational control. The DSS, that is the decision support system, can control the information about an individual's decision as the managers. It will have more control over the decision of the managers. That means the human will depend more on the decision support system to take any decision. He will leave the task of making a decision on DSS and blindly controls or blindly follows the suggestion given by the DSS. This is one of the disadvantage of the decision support system. Okay. Let's move on to some more disadvantages of the DSS. One thing is it has the limited storage capability. The storage capacity of the systems that are using decision support system makes it have a less memory to store all the decisions, all the processing of the data in the DSS. Then other disadvantages are it is slow. It is slow compared to the speed of the large mainframe computers. So it is less used or less speed. It has a slow execution time when compared to the mainframe computers. When they are connected with the mainframe computers for collecting the data and processing, it is a little bit slow than the mainframe computers. Then it has another disadvantage of limited information sharing. So most decision support systems are designed for individual use, not for the entire organization. It is for the individual use, but they can be designed so that several computers can be linked for limited information sharing. So for it can, even though it is for single user, it can be made to share the information, that is smaller amount of information among others. That means the larger amount of data cannot be handled by the decision support system. Then we have the difficulty. So it is difficult to know independencies of functions provided by a system. How much they are independent, you can't assess. Other thing is it requires an extensive knowledge of the entire system or a specific problem domain or technical knowledge. So there will be, the system will be having certain applications which expects the manager to have most of the knowledge about the problem domain as well as the technical knowledge. If you don't have the technical knowledge and the problem domain, you cannot cope up with the decision support system efficiently. Then it has translation problems. Users have to deal with several databases and model each with different data models. There may be different DSS models that are involved, and there must be a translation system present to interact with different DSS models that are implemented in different business. Then there will be a confliction. What kind of confliction? User may have to work on several decision scenarios at the same time. For a single problem, he has to deal with different scenarios. As a consequence, they have to keep track of what they done for each of them. The DSS is not going to track the handling of the data by the managers. This task has to be done by the manager itself. If the profit is reduced, if there is a slowdown in the market, now what he has to do is, he has to handle with several scenarios, because there may be several factors which affect the business, which affects the reduction of the profit. Now he has to handle different scenarios, he has to study different factors to come to a decision about how to improvise the business, how to improvise the sale of a product. In this case, DSS is not going to hold or keep track of all the scenarios or all the data involved. Who is going to do that is, the manager has to do the tracking of the data in different models of the DSS. So that is another disadvantage of the decision support system. Now let's move on to the next system in the MIS, that is the Executive Information System, or the EIS. What is this EIS? What is the meaning? So EIS are information systems that combine many of the features of MIS and DSS. Both will be included in the EIS. When they were first developed, their focus was on meeting the strategic information. Only strategic information were collected, which are needed by the top level management. Only executive management or executive council of the company or organization needs any information. About that, the executive information system was going to work. Okay. In some cases, and EIS is also called as the executive support system. Okay. It supports the executive council of the organization or the company. Okay. If you take the formal definition of the EIS, you can define it as, the EIS is a computer-based information delivery and communication system, information delivery and communication system designed to support the needs of the top executives. So this is system meant for only use of the top level executives, not the middle or the lower level executives. It is only for the top level executives, which helps in information delivery and having a communication system with the top executives. Let's know about the characteristics of the EIS. The main characteristics of the EIS tells that, first thing is, the capacity of the EIS is the drill down capabilities. That means EIS can allow the executives to look for even a smaller detail of any specific information. If they want to know about the product delivery or marketing strategy, the EIS is going to provide each and every small data related to the production department. So it has the capacity of drilling down or getting into the deeper insight of the data, not the creamy layer. Deep insight of the data is available with the executive information system. Each level of detail that is accessed by the user or that is stored by other users may involve submenus. If the system is a menu driven, you can have submenus to get into the deeper into a data, and you can have different perspectives of the data. using the deeper introspections or deeper insights of a particular data. Then we have other characteristic is designed with management critical success factors keeping in mind. What is this? So every organization has certain critical factors. You'll be having certain critical factors that are important for achieving the organizational goals. They are important for achieving the organizational goals. Okay. The next characteristic is it is a status axis. It has the capability of trend analysis and exception handling. What are these factors is all about? This feature allows the executives to access the current executives to examine. So it will allow the access the current executives will be allowed to access all the information. So you can have the relevance of information is also important in case of the EIS. Then we have the personalized analysis. The capability of the EIS allows the executive to use the built-in functions to analyze the problematic situation. It can provide you, if you are a top executive, it can provide you the built-in functions to analyze the current problematic situation. Along with that, it can give you a navigation of the information. So this allows the executives to access large amount of information in a quick and efficient manner. Okay, it gives you the capability or the facility of navigating through a very minor information in the server. Okay, let's check what are the critical factors, success factors of EIS, which decides whether EIS is successful or not. So what are the critical success factors of the EIS? Is first thing is it has a committed and informed executive sponsor. There will be a top level executive or CEO which will serve as the executive sponsor of the EIS for solving the problem, for collecting the information, for assisting the problem, for everything. There will be a committed and informed executive that will present and implement the EIS in a successful manner. Then we have an operating sponsor. So the executive sponsor will most likely to be too busy to devote too much for the implementation. There will be an operating sponsor which looks into the implementation of the EIS in a proper manner. Then we have an appropriate information services staff. There will be staff and an information specialist who will be looking into the data to be collected, and he is the one who understands the information technology, but also how the executive will use the system. He will know everything about the information technology factors that need to be used for the implementation of the EIS, along with how does the executive who is not very much familiar with the information technology is going to use this system. So he will be knowing about the entire environment of the EIS and how to implement it efficiently. Then we have the appropriate information technology. You will be having an efficient hardware and software components which help in the high-level construction of the EIS. Then there will be somebody who is going to take care of the data management. It is not sufficient to just store the data or the information. The executive should have the idea of how the current data is, how to analyze the data and how to make them convenient for the use of the managers or the top executives. So these are all will be taken care by the data management persons. Okay, then a clear link to business objectives. The EIS is becoming more successful. That means they are designed to solve the specific problems. What kind of problems? The problems which are arising with the top executives only, not with the middle or the lower level executives. The problems that has to be solved by only the top level executives will be assisted by the EIS by taking the clear picture of the business objectives. What does the business wants? How to get a profit in a tougher situation? All these things will be known to the EIS, and it will help in solving a problem by the top executives with the help of the information technology. Along with that, there will be a management of organizational resistance. So, when an executive resists these AIS efforts, it should be taken as a supportive one. Okay, the management or the top executive must not entirely depend on the EIS, but they'll take just support of the AIS. That means the execution or the planning and strategies of the company will be controlled by the top executives, not by the EIS. Next thing is management of the spread and evolution of the system. It must make much familiar for the use of the information system. It must become widespread for the use of the top executives, and it must evaluate with the time and market demand, based on the marketing demand and how it can be used. The upper level management has to receive the information from the EIS with the help of the lower level managers and get the same output. So these are the critical factors which help in success of the EIS in a management information system. Okay, thank you.